Cliff Fretwell, man, it's great to see you.
Oh man, I was fired up by you coming to town, and you came to town, and I just wasn't even here.
Dude, I'll tell you what. I didn't shed a tear, but you know when your eyes get a little glassed
welled
over
up.
when you weren't getting in last night. I was like, man, I'm gonna get to watch Final X with Cliff.
Yeah, that would have been me, Roper,
and
you, and Ramos
Yeah.
watching Final X in my living room. That would have been great. Instead, I was at a crappy hotel restaurant downstairs in Pittsburgh. So it happens, man.
We've watched some wrestling together.
We've watched an amazing amount of wrestling together.
Yeah.
Show flow.
A lot of fun. I appreciate it. So tell me what's going on. You just got back from a trip.
Yeah, so I was doing a camp up at Hickory, PA. There was a bunch of Canfield guys from Ohio came over to Hickory, PA, right around Reynolds area, that whole Hermitage school district. So I was just up there doing a camp. It's camp season.
Yeah.
I'm Rippin and Runnin, Ziggin and Zaggin. So I was at Wabash, then Hickory, then I'm back at Wabash tomorrow, fly out tomorrow, and then more and more. So it's nonstop until the middle of August. But what we got going on now is our C3 Combine. I think this is our 5th year doing it here in Georgia. And it was kind of like anything else happened with me and Roper. It's like, actually it was Pete Yates' idea. He kind of brought it to me, and man, once me and Pete got together, I mean, and this is his deal. Like Pete organized. I didn't do hardly anything. I wasn't even here. But I mean, Pete does an amazing job. He works with my wife, and we try to get college coaches in here to want to recruit Georgia. And right now, there's a good buzz about Georgia. We got some guys. I mean, Singleton back there in the background just had an amazing month. Flow National Finals, World Team Trials, all kind of stuff. And we got other guys. But it's not just our club; it's Georgia, in general. And we wanted college coaches to see our kids not just out competing. So we figured out a way to get them to come in and work with the kids and get the kids used to talking to coaches, because it's easier to look for a job when you got one. It's easier to sell yourself as you've done it more than once, with a college coach. So, and now it's grown into, a lot of these guys, I don't even have to ask them. They're asking me, hey, when's Combine this year?
Yeah.
And Kevin Ward, Army coach. Unfortunately, they had a serious incident up there with one of their cadets, and he wasn't able to make it, but he's made every single one of them. And he's gotten a bunch of our guys from Georgia and our club. So they're seeing value in it, and that's all we're trying to do. We're trying to add value for the kids, add value for the coaches, and, just keep it rolling.
Yeah, what's some of the feedback you got from the college coaches and then some from the kids?
Just as much information as we can get. Originally, when we started collecting information, it was just a handful of stuff, contact information, this, that, and the other. Now they can upload their transcripts when they register, GPAs, all that stuff. So we give these college coaches pretty much a nice look into their academic and athletic and personal lives by the information we collect with them. Obviously, they're wearing their shirt, their weight. It's just real easy to identify them based off their class and the color of their shirt. And it just makes it real user-friendly for the coaches. They see the last name, they know the weight, they know the age, and they can gravitate towards a kid, make a note. We give them a book that they can write in, all that stuff. And it's just, like I said, just as much value as we can add both ways.
They talk to you like, what are the coaches, why do they choose certain technique when they're out in front of these kids? Is it just because they think that's what's going to work, or do you think it's they want to see kids that are using
I think it's a little bit of both. But as a coach myself, I think a lot of times when we're put in a moment to shine, a lot of times we go to our best stuff, right?
Yeah.
Or our stuff that we think is unique. But again, like you'll see coaches watching other coaches and be like, oh, well, that coach showed. And like Rochelle opened up, was like, hey, I've seen a lot of guys doing single leg stuff, but I'm going to continue with that, and I'm going to show a different aspect. So a lot of that might be a coach watches some kids drill some aspects of a single and then be like, you know what, I'm going to continue this, and let's see how they progressively learn. So I think different coaches have different methods. Roper, his first group, he was focused on how hard he could make them work. And then the second group, when he was with the lighter guys, he actually toned it back a little bit and got a little more technical. So I just think it's what he sees in the eyes, and I don't know, ask them. I'm not a college coach. I'm not good. I'm not smart enough. I'm not as smart as them. But
this kind of caught me off guard, because I was at your the combine you did in Florida at the NWCA.
Yep.
There was kids from all over, and I expected when I came here that it would be just compound kids, but half the kids I talked to are wrestlers from the state, but not necessarily tied to compound.
Yeah. So
is it important to you that is it that these kids are getting looks too, or
100%. I mean, you know me, and the people that have been around me for an extended period of time understand what a wrestling purist I am, and I'm just trying to, like I said, a lot of this stuff that me and Roper have done over the years. I mean, the compound itself started as a non-profit that me and him were just dragging my oldest son and some other crazy dads and kids around the country because Team Georgia wasn't doing anything. So we started our own non-profit and started doing it. And then that started gaining a lot of momentum. And then I was like, man, could we do this in the private sector and like maybe do this for a living? It's like, no way. And then that kind of ended up being the compound, and the same thing with the combine. I was like, hey, we want to get our kids looks, and then other people got on board with it, man. If one of these events can create an opportunity for a kid to pursue a dream at the next level, I don't care if he's from Alaska or Georgia or my club. Obviously, I'm selfish. I want my guys to benefit from it. But man, if they don't want to come and they don't want to move on to the next level, that's fine. I got no problems with that. But if it's here and it's in their backyard, I want to take advantage of it. And I think that's what we've struggled with over the years in Georgia is like there's a lot of opportunity, and sometimes the kids are just like, nah, it'll be there, or it's not that important, and things like this, not just because I'm doing it or we're doing it or Pete's doing it. These things are important. These are opportunities to get this close, with a coach, and talk to them and interact with them. A lot of times when they're at college tournaments or Super 32, it's very, the kids are competing, the coaches are, a little distant. So this is a very intimate environment. So short answer, no, I don't care. If we got North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee kids here, Georgia kids here, so Florida kids. I think there's a couple kids from Florida, so I love it, man.
I thought it was cool too. One thing I don't think about it like that. I'm not a college coach, but this morning Lee's sitting there and he's like, you know what? I like being here early and see what time the kids get in.
100%.
What kids come early, and I'm like, yeah, that makes total sense. You can't see that at high school nationals or at any of these other tournaments.
Because everybody kind of trickles in at the same time, warms up, gets ready. You can watch kids warm up and get ready to compete, but you find out what kids take something like this serious. Like this is a job interview. 100%. This is a job interview for some of these kids. So, yeah, and like you said, different coaches are going to look at this thing for them different, no, it's been cool. It's been cool to kind of watch it grow and get a little bit more organic. I think we can do a little bit better with making it more interactive. From an outsider standpoint looking in, just the way with the media we cover it and things like that, and that's something me and you have been talking about. I'm always trying to be on the next level of that. Maybe even doing like a live feed next year for college coaches that can't come. Because again, I'm just trying to add value for these kids and these coaches. So if we had a live feed, kids aren't not going to come because we have a live feed. I don't think college coaches are not going to come because we have a live feed, but some coaches that just absolutely can't logistically come could tune in and watch. I think that's something that, could be a next level thing that we do.
Awesome. So it's been fun watching videos of you at camp, and you're always good technician and good teacher. But it seems lately I'm really, really impressed with the way that you teach groups of kids. What are you doing to get better? What are you doing to get better as a coach?
Watching other coaches, watching guys and the funny thing was when I was at Wabash, Kraus did the day before. And me and you have a long history with Mike, and Mike, he gets pitted as the best youth coach in the country, but he's a good coach. And one thing that makes him very, very, very captivating is his energy and the way he commands the room. And part of the way me and Roper started off was emulating a lot of what he did with our energy and our excitement, because we didn't know how to coach. We weren't very good technicians. So it was like, if we can get them excited and then get them excited about learning X, then when we actually know how to teach them X, then we'll have a perfect storm. So a lot of that came from there. But, I don't know if you saw during lunch. Me and Roper were out there working. Anytime I get a chance to get around high-level coaches, I'm trying to get smarter. And that's one thing that's been a big goal or a theme for us this year with our kids is just learning how to stay excited about getting knowledge, and not just wrestling knowledge, just getting smarter in general. And that's, I got to practice what I preach. And you get these high-level guys, some of these guys like a Gavin Kane that, won Journeyman and things like that they're some of the highest level athletes in the country. Like, I've got to be able to take that high level athlete and get them better. So if I'm not progressing as a coach, it's going to be tough for him to progress as an athlete. And then it's a relationship, and then it's just a lot of purposeful work. So I appreciate the compliment. I work hard at it. I work hard at it, and the work never stops. And I'm just trying to get smarter and smarter. And I think one thing that's helped me out a lot recently is I'm not afraid to take a chance on showing some technique that I'm not comfortable showing. So we've kind of had these Thursday practices have been our experimental practice. So I'll come in with a concept more than I am a chunk of technique, and then I just watch the kids play a little bit. And then we'll refine it, and then I'll ask questions, and it's almost like the kids are teaching me on Thursdays because I'm watching them process. Even our younger guys that don't know much, I'm just watching how they learn, how they figure things out, how they problem solve, critical thinking skills, all that type of stuff. So with me trying to be innovative like that I've stole from other coaches, it's not stuff I just wake up in the middle of the night and have an epiphany. I implement it. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes I do a camp and I'm like, that was a bad session, I need to fix. But it's constant, it's evolving. It's fun, man. It's fun to take a look back and watch how I've grown as a coach, how Roper's grown as a coach. It's been cool. And then Gamble was in here today. He was coaching at UTC. Now he's got a real job for whatever reason. I don't know why, but watch these guys come through and then they aspire to be coaches and technicians and motivators. So it's fun. It's been real fun.
Man, a lot of you, I guess, 08 or so. I got to know you, Lee, Matty B.
Almost 12 years, man.
You and Lee were always together. I remember when Lee was going up for that job, I was worried about you both. Even though it would be super exciting.
That was tough, man.
So,
that was tough.
He's clearly, happy and doing great things.
He's in the perfect spot.
When you get to see him here, and I could see even too when he pulled up to comp, I could see him looking around and soaking it in. But what's it like when you get some time with Lee?
Man,
immediately you started working on technique.
Yeah, it's just the bond that me and that guy have has been something that's just been. It's been a fun journey for me and him, and we haven't lost touch. We've obviously been distant. Literally we're together almost 24/7. We're either here at the gym or on my property talking wrestling and watching wrestling. And it was tough. It was an adjustment. But one thing it did make me do is that I always relied on him. I leaned on him to be the leader in the room and the lead technician and the thinker and the creative guy when it came to technique. I was always the creative guy when it came to the business and all that. And when he left, it was like, all right, I got to do it. And Pete's came on, and Pete's done an amazing job. He's, for his age and the technical brain that he has coming on board, has been amazing and been great. But there's only one Lee Roper, and man, it was a big void for me, and I had to put my big boy pants on and figure it out. I had to figure out how to to walk into a room and coach on the fly, and not just kind of lean on him to be that guy every day. So that made me grow up. So as much as we were always preaching to our kids, chase your dreams, break outside the box, this, that, and the other, and he wants to coach a national championship team, and he can't do that in this room, so he's got to go out to college. So it's working out, man. It's working out. But days like today are good, get him back in the room and pick his brain. So it's been fun. As much as it's been weird, but it like the first year I got to see him at the NCAA tournament, man, that was special for me to be able to watch and see him down there coaching. So, and then Foster this year winning a national title, man, to notice that they're getting closer and closer, man, I'll tell you, that's fun stuff. That's fun stuff.
Well, it's good to see you, Cliff.
Yeah,
I always appreciate, back in the early flow days, all the work, and then you guys being friendly to me and all that. It's a big deal. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me down here.
It's been an awesome ride, man. We got, 50 more years to do this? We got plenty of time, Joe.
We'll be naming files all night.
Yes.
You got anything else you want to say?
Nah, man, I appreciate you coming down. I definitely want to get you more involved in what we're doing.
Yes, please.
I love what you're doing now. I love what you're doing on a different scale, on a different platform, and we're going to get together on some cool stuff here in the future, so everybody be tuned.